Alright, now this video is going to be about why I think tanks are a little bit broken in the meta right now. This is a big debate kind of going around, and I think, personally, that they are broken and this is too much of a tank meta. Simply because, for a team, tanks are meant to be are meant to be champions that take damage. That can take a lot for a team. I don't think that they should be doing this much damage. Now, the main problem with Masteries is Grasp of the Undying. It's like Thunderlords was a little while ago, but worse. Is every 4 seconds in combat, your next attack against an enemy champion does 3% of your maximum health, which is pretty high considering that, I mean, you're building health because you're a tank. Also, there's no cooldown on it. That's ridiculous, so it can constantly be kept procced in lane. So, it's just an insane amount of health, and you're stealing back so much from them. It's really hard to beat them. Even in LCS, you see, like, a Nautilus who doesn't have any kills stomp all over a super fed mid laner. I mean, that's just kind of what it's come to. Now, I'm going to go into items real quick here. There are a few select ones I really want to talk about. We're going to start it off with Titanic Hydra. This item has been under debate since its release. I personally don't find any reason why this should be in the game. I mean, like, it offers 450 health, 35 AD, which is just after a recent nerf that removed 40. After 100% base health regen, it just becomes a ridiculously good item. Now, the whopping stats on their own seem a little much, especially the damage, but your autos also do 5 plus 1% of your maximum health as bonus damage, which, I mean, that just gives your autos more, it makes you farm more, and it's just way better for pushing, which, I mean, I don't think tanks should be great split pushers either. That's not what they're meant to do. Now, when you activate, it does 40 plus 10% of your maximum health as bonus physical damage. Now, say you have, like, 4,000 health. That's another 400 damage you're going to be doing on your next auto. And so if you have somebody like Shen and your Qs go, and you use your Q and your autos go quickly, that's too much damage. And it's only got a 20-second cooldown, which is a little bit low in my opinion. Alright, on to the next one, which will be Thornmail. This one has been around for a long time, but I honestly think, like, it gives you a lot of armor, and you do need to have health to back it up, but it just offers too much in terms of thorn damage. Like, people take so much from fighting you. Put this on a Rammus with a lot of health. If he procs his W, you're going to be taking more than you can deal to him. And Rammus can already deal a ridiculous amount of damage thanks to his passive and fairly high scaling. And his ult is also great for team fighting. You put him at the middle of that, you can't kill him, you're going to kill yourself, and he's going to kill you. It's just horrible trying to go against one of these. Otherwise, let me find it real quick here, sorry about that. Oh, this one is actually hugely debated right now. It's Maul Malmortius. This one, a lot of people think it's really overpowered, especially in LCS, but it's mostly because it's got really high damage, pretty high magic resist, and armor pen. Now this is an insane laning item and gives quite good tankiness. The passive, when you go below 30%, it grants a shield that absorbs magic damage equal to 300, plus 1 per magic bonus resistance. So that could be like 500 if you had like 200 magic resist. And that's for 5 seconds. And it's got a nice second cooldown, which is decently long, but that's a big shield if you're fighting someone. And on top of that, you get plus 10% spell vamp and 10% lifesteal into a lot of combat. So this gives you a super unfair advantage against an AP champion. I mean, it's just ridiculous. If you ever tried going against someone with this, it can be infuriating, especially when paired with our next item. Oh, I'm sorry. They're right here. Sterix Gauge. Now, this one, I love that it was added to the game. It's such a fun item, and if you like playing tanks, it can just give you a great edge, but it's also a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Upon taking at least 400 to 800 damage, based on level of course, it gives Sterix Fury. Now what that means is you get 25% additional base attack damage, which is pretty high, and a rapidly decaying shield for 30% of your maximum health. It's not really that rapidly decaying. Now, imagine this scenario. You get, say, like an Alistar, and he's built about 400 health and a lot of armor and magic resist, so he's fairly tanky. Now, after he takes that amount of damage, whatever it is, then he will gain in size and get a 1600 health shield, bringing back any damage that you were just able to do to him. If he pops his ult, he's going to have his 70 or so AD plus a 25% bonus. He's going to be doing more damage than even your ADC can, with mountains of CC and being unkillable. I just find that ridiculous, and I don't think that should be a part of it. I mean, I'd say kind of tone back the shield a little bit and maybe make it cost a little more so it's not so easily accessible. Otherwise, I mean, as far as tanks go, a couple other items I wanted to talk about here, these are the AP ones. Well, firstly, I want to talk about Rylai's, right here. Sorry about that. It grants 400 health and 100 ability power. Now, that's I wouldn't really call it a tank item, but it's a tankier item. I'm actually a fan of this one, but at the same time, I think it can be a little bit ridiculous while used, because if you throw it on, again, like an Alistar or a Rammus, while they're also being unkillable, they can suddenly get this massive amount of CC with the slow, plus all the damage that they're able to put out with, like, Alistar and Blitzcrank, and some supports have insanely high ability power scaling. So this can just be ridiculous, and I honestly don't think it should be allowed on some champions. Otherwise, another huge one right now is Iceborns, which are right here. It grants a ton of mana, lots of cooldown reduction, and 65 armor. Another thing is, after using an ability, which is called Spellblade, next basic attack deals bonus physical damage, which is 125% of your basic attack damage, which I do believe stacks with Sterex if you do get that, and creates an icy zone for 2 seconds that slows movement speed by 30%. I think it offers too much for like such a low cost. It's really easy to get, gives you a lot of tank stats, and just makes your damage output absolutely ridiculous. Really, I think that's all I wanted to go over for tank items. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments and whatnot. Otherwise, I mean, whatever else you think makes tanks overpowered, if you don't think they are, feel free to debate that. And that's all. I'll see you guys all later.